like Dad said, thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. And it's great to have nice weather. I got so many calls last week asking me, what we're going to do when it's bad weather. I guess I told them I didn't know. They knew it was going to be bad weather. So anyway, I'm glad that it's pleasant. I'm glad you guys are here. We're going to give away 12 bags of shavings later on. What's the name of the shavings? We don't remember right now. But Eagle Valley Animal Bedding. They're really cool pellets, and you put water in them and they blow up. They're about the best pellets that I can find, that we can find, that we've used here. We're going to give away some of those. They send us 12 free bags, and we're going to give those away to somebody later as door prize. We've got a bunch of tack that's going to be given away as door prize. I know we've got coupons for feed. We might have some free feed. We've got some coupons for PDZ, Sweet PDZ, which is a product we use in the stalls and in the horse trailers to keep things smelling fresh, keep the ammonia down. It's a really cool product. And we've got a lot of other stuff we're going to give away today. We've got some oil changes. Brad from Hunts Goodyear stores here, and he's going to give away some oil changes we have. Some coupons for oil changes, and he's got good tires in there set up that he tells you about, trailer tires, truck tires. Go talk to him a little bit. We've got a lot of other people here that we'll go over later. Ernie Rodina, you guys have seen him already. He's here from Trina Mills, and he's kind of helping put this thing on today. He's paying for part of your food tonight, and they're going to give away some stuff later. I know he always does, so make sure you get signed in at my table, and then make sure you get signed in at Ernie's table. He'll give away some door prizes too. So, with that being said, Carrie, would you go get Gimli, or tell somebody to get Gimli and bring him out with a rope halter? And we're gonna work Gimli. Gimli, I'm gonna tell you about this colt. He's a 3-year-old, and he's been worked with a little bit. He's never been ridden. I think we'll ride him today, probably, to see how he does. He's a colt that was born here in the barn, and a friend of ours, a client of ours, owned him, and had his the same lady that has the mare colt in there now, Jessica Schmidt. She owned this other mare colt. And then some other clients that boarded here, they bought the colt when he was a baby, took him home for a couple years. They brought him back, and I worked him a few days last fall, right before I left. They just asked me to saddle him up a couple times and get him kind of broke, and then I left. I never had been on him, and so we're going to work with him today, and I'm just going to kind of try to give you a little bit of a rundown of what I like to look at when I'm starting him and what I do and this kind of stuff. So, we've got a question box that's over there today. If any of you guys have any questions about anything specific, whether it's a training, whether it's just horse care, whether it's anything, I'm going to go through later on today on the schedule as a question and answer session, and I'm going to try to answer some questions. If I don't know the answer, I'll make one up if you actually do know what I'm thinking about. So just feel free to ask anything you want. Put your name on it if you want to. If you don't want to put your name on it, that's fine too. And we're just happy to be able to share education as much as we can. I like teaching people, and I probably like learning as much as I like teaching, and you have to do one before you do the other. Thanks, Carrie. Carrie Nagel, give her a hand. I love to teach people about horses. I love to teach people about anything I know about. The problem is there's not much I know about, so I just teach them about this. And I like to learn a lot, and I think there's no sense teaching if you're not always trying to learn. A lot of people kind of get to where they learn a little bit, they feel like they know something, and they start teaching, and they never look back. And I think that's the 100% wrong approach to anything in life, especially anything to do with horses or anything else that's moving around or trying to run over you if you let them. So I'm just going to walk around here real quick and talk about getting this horse out of my space and getting him to respect me. This is something that we have to focus on. I'm not going to dwell on it today. I can spend 3 hours discussing this, but what I'm going to do is spend a couple minutes trying to get you guys to understand that the first thing I've got to do with any horse is to get this horse thinking about me. Because it's not going to do him any good, it's not going to do me any good to waste a lot of time here in the arena or on the trail if he's not thinking about me. Now, am I ever going to get him 100% totally thinking about me and never anything else? No, probably not. But what I need to do is get him to where when I pull like this and go somewhere, he's following me. Now, he didn't come out of his womb doing this. Spend a little time, and I've worked with his owners quite a bit to try to get them to practice it whenever they work with him. Basically, get him to kind of somewhat follow me around. I hear people say, oh, my horse follows me around like a puppy dog. Well, that can be good, but they can also be following you around literally like a puppy dog that's jumping on you, and that's not what we want, obviously. But what I want to do is make sure he's kind of respecting me, and I'll back him out of my space, and I'll get as assertive as I need to get that done. As you can tell, I didn't need to be very assertive with him right now. I was a lot more assertive with him last fall when he came in a couple of days. And I was a lot more assertive with him a few days ago when I needed to be. And the reason I've already worked with him and I didn't get a colt in that I didn't work with at all, you know, I wasn't sure about the weather, if we're going to need to have somebody bring one in. Jay Kelly over here from Bramer raises some horses. He offered to bring one, and I told him maybe, and then I just decided that I've got a couple of these horses that they just came in training with me this week, and they're going to stay here, so I just didn't use one of them. And that way I'm kind of showing you something I'm going to be working with in the future, and that way you guys can come back in a month or two and see how they're doing and see what we progress to. I think it's very important to see somebody that's starting colts. I think it's very important to see their somewhat finished product. There's a lot of people travel around the country talking about starting colts, but that's all they do. They don't ever finish one. They don't ever get one doing anything else besides those first 10 rides. Well, in my opinion, they don't have any business doing that. That's like somebody that builds car frames but never puts the rest of the car body together. What would they know about frames if they don't know if the body's going to fit right? You know, what would they know about putting on something to build a foundation if they've never put anything on top of that foundation? So to me, it's very important, if you have somebody that you like the way he starts colts, to see a horse that he's started about a year later, or at least a month later, 2 months later, see something that what he's really done, kind of where he's going with this program. Everything we do now is building somewhat of a relationship on what they're going to do later. Everything we do now is going to correlate to something I'm going to do later. I'm not going to waste much time today doing things that aren't going to help me next week. I'm not going to waste time making this horse go walk over a tarp. I'm not going to waste time making this horse put his head on a pedestal or put his foot over that third rail. I'm not going to waste time doing anything that I know is not going to help him later on in life. Now, can some of that stuff that I was just talking about, walking over tarps and walking over this and putting their feet here, can some of that stuff help him? Sure. You know, do I think all of it's 100% necessary? No, not at all. Are there some horses that need more groundwork than others and need more time and different types of creativity to get things done? Of course. But generally speaking, I want to make sure they're respecting me. I want to make sure they're kind of being able to somewhat follow me around and keep their body coming my way, keep their mind coming my way. And then after that, we need to start teaching them how to ride. You want to grab that little saddle blanket over there, somebody, bring it over, please. Thank you very much. So I'll start out. Hey, buddy, can you grab that blanket? Just have it ready. I'll get it from you just a second. I mean, that saddle. Just have it ready. So I'll start out on a colt. After I've kind of taught him, I mean, you can see how he's standing out here on his own. You know, I don't hold on to him. I don't have somebody hold him for me. Now, am I saying I'll never do that? No. You know, never say never. But I also want to make sure that I don't generally get somebody to hold this horse tight while I'm working with him. Because all that's going to do is get this horse somewhat physically constrained to where he's going to stay here if we hold on to him. But if we let go of him and then walk over here and do this, that's when I want him, that's when I want to know if he's going to go somewhere or if he's going to stay. Because if he stays, it's not because somebody's got a hold of him, because he decided to stay. It's because his mind has chosen to do the right thing. Not because somebody's standing in front of him and he can't go anywhere. I don't protect my horses from making mistakes. I want to make sure they can make mistakes if they want to, and I can correct them. If I can't correct them, they can't learn anything. And I can't correct them if I don't let them make mistakes. So I'm not going to hold a horse all the time. I'm going to make him stand here on his own. I'm going to throw this stuff off and on. As you can see, he doesn't have a problem with it today. I mean, is he looking around, looking at all the people? Of course, it's a little different deal for him. He hasn't been in this round pen before. Maybe last fall he was, I forgot. But lately it's been a little too muddy. So I'm going to kind of do this kind of stuff, throw this blanket up and over him and move it all around and make sure I kind of sack him out somewhat. I will do that sometimes with a feed sack or something. That's where the term came from, sacking them out, getting them where they'll just kind of get them desensitized, stand still and broke. You know, if he wants to move when I have it up here, I'll just kind of keep putting it there and let him kind of move if he wants to. Remember, I'm not going to stop him from making a mistake. I'm going to let him make that mistake. Now I'm just going to let him figure out he doesn't need to go anywhere. Okay, so I do that a couple times, and as you can see, he's standing pretty still. And so the first day, maybe he wasn't quite that still, so I'd go ahead and put it on him, and if he's jumping around, and if he's moving, let's just make him move for a minute.